ADOS dude. There was an ADOS dude named Bill something. Bill the Icon.
Bring up all the dirty laundry.
So tell us about your platform in a nutshell. You know, what is the main plank of your platform?
Well, my platform is one that's easy to recognize from my campaign slogan: repair Black America in order to fix America. You cannot do one without the other. So I look at statistics and I see that Black Americans, even though the average Black American has been an American longer than any other ethnic group, we have the least amount of wealth, and getting poor, by the way. We get paid the least on our jobs. We have the shortest lives, and we are doing worse now in regards to home ownership and land ownership than our great-grandparents were in the 1950s. Our great-grandparents owned 15 million acres of property. We just owe 1 million, and barely that. Our great-grandparents, during the days of Jim Crow and redlining, had a home ownership rate of at least 45 to 44%. We are dropping down to 39. My platform ties the connection from the poverty. And by the way, it's not an anti-poverty program, but from the poverty that we largely experience as a people to the fact that we never received the wages that our great-grandparents were supposed to receive. So as a result, we inherited poverty the same way that white Americans inherited land, inherited homes, inherited businesses, and during some days in this country used to inherit people who were enslaved. We inherited poverty and we inherited trauma. So it doesn't matter how much more educated we become. Black women are among the most educated group in the United States of America, yet they are the poorest group in the United States of America. So education is not the answer. Doesn't matter how many businesses we start. Black Americans have been the most entrepreneurial group since this country's founding. As of 2000, Black Americans start more new businesses than any other demographic. And yet our businesses fail at the fastest rate. Why? Because we don't have the startup capital, which is something that a lot of white Americans have, because they have assets and they have things like homes which they can use as collateral, things we were not able to get because of being excluded from government programs that put billions and billions of dollars into white American families, such as the Homestead Act, which gave away millions upon millions upon millions of acres of property. The GI Bill, which led to 14 million white Americans becoming professionals, doctors, lawyers, scientists. Redlining, which saw us being denied for home loans and business loans. So starting businesses is not the way, not to mention the fact that when we start businesses in times past, racist, white Americans, anti-Black terrorists would burn them to the ground. So that's not the answer. Investment is not the answer. The number one source of wealth from investment for Black Americans is land and home ownership. And of course, we have investment in the stock market via our jobs, 401As and 401Ks. And yet, Black retirees are far, far, far poorer than white retirees, even when we've had good return on our investment. So that's not the answer. There was an article saying that anti-Black racism has cost the United States of America $16 trillion. It has cost Black Americans $17 trillion. It has made this whole country poorer, weaker, and a far more violent country than it would have been had we been given our due at the end of slavery that was attempted to be done by the Freedmen's Bureau, which was set up by Congress to make sure we got land, to make sure we got our wealth, and to make sure that we were treated not just fairly, but equitably in all areas. My platform is first and foremost reparations, to make sure that those things are finally done. We are going to get compensation for the land that was violently stolen from us. We are going to get direct monetary payments for the unpaid wages that our ancestors never received as descendants of American slaves. I prefer the term freedmen because freedmen is the congressional term for Black people who have the lineage tied to those who were emancipated from slavery in the United States of America. We're going to get direct monetary payments for the unpaid wages, but also for emotional, physical, and physiological harm. I'm going to bring back the Freedmen's Bureau. There's so many issues to address within Black America that has been inflicted upon us as a byproduct of this country's anti-Black racism, from the high levels of gun violence to the high numbers of Black women be going missing, to the high number of Black women dying giving birth to children, to our schools being underfunded, to us having the highest rates of foreclosure and auto repossession, to us dealing with medical anti-Blackness, to us being excluded from industries such as app development that we were integral in starting. The Freedmen's Bureau is going to serve as an arm of the government to deal with all of the issues that impact us in the private sector, public sector, and our day-to-day dealings.